Hello there. Today I just want to share a bit more about something that I bet you are thinking about all the time. You're thinking about how other people look at you, how they think about you, how they perceive you, and you feel self-conscious, right? All humans are self-conscious. It's highly typical. My kids are self-conscious too, and they're probably only 2 and 4, right? So we need to understand that that's normal, but how can you cope with it? It's hard to research about it. It's hard to understand it. And some people do it better than others. I share a bit, maybe the introverts versus the extroverts. Let's just look at it that way, right? The extroverts are a lot more expressive about how they think people are thinking about them, right? They fear and they express that fear in words to tell people like, I think he's looking at me. I think he's thinking my hair looks bad. I think he's thinking my teeth is dirty or I have bad skin. Very normal. Whereas the people who might be suffering, who are introverts, they are thinking about it and they are culminating these thoughts in their minds, but they don't dare to share it, right? So they both suffer. I mean, the extroverts and the introverts, they both suffer. Everybody suffers this, and in some way it's manageable. But if I could define it, it's called the spotlight effect. All of us are thinking that there's a spotlight on us wherever we walk, and everybody's looking at us, everybody's judging us. Well, that's all in your head, and that's something that you can control, right? I just want to share with you this thing called the spotlight effect because it is relevant to you. It's relevant to everybody around you. And that's why in this world, for example, on videos and on all kinds of presentations, whether it's on stage, whether it's in a classroom, only 1% of the people are willingly and comfortably going up there and facing that judgment, right? Because they kind of can compartmentalize and put it away, or they're managing it in some other way. When I say managing it, it could be that they have a higher purpose and goal on why they're doing it. So they are managing it, much like me, for example. I share with you this, the spotlight effect is, I'm so scared what they think about me. I'm so fearful about how they see me, or how I look in this way, or how I do something in this way, or how I act in one way might cause a judgment. That's called the spotlight effect. To prove this point, I even shaved my head just to show you that and test whether it matters. In this way, I prove to you that actually to me, all right, just to me, it doesn't matter. I shaved my head and I wanted to show my kids and the people around me. I was just testing it when I was walking around. Do people actually observe and stare at me and look at me and they judge me? Truth? No, they don't. They don't care. They're too busy. Maybe some of them did, but it doesn't bother me. And maybe they did it because society said that, oh, if you're bald or if you are shaven, there are underlying reasons behind it. Because you are balding, you have a receding hairline, because you are using performance enhancing drugs that causes this to you. No, it doesn't matter to me, right? How the spotlight effect hurts you and affects you is how you interpret it to yourself. This doesn't hurt me at all. I even wanted to share with you another thing, which is some people are bringing the spotlight effect onto themselves and hurting themselves naturally, intentionally, or maybe, I don't know whether it's intentional or unintentional, but you get the point. I give you an example, right? There are some people who go out there and they go out with and hold the top or a banged up top that's really short, and they are worrying that everybody's looking at them, looking at their tummy, whether there's any body fat. It's all up to them, right? You choose what you want to wear and you choose how you want to act or do. And if that affects you, then don't do it, right? If that top that's too tight makes you feel fat or makes you feel judged, then don't wear it. If that hairstyle you find makes you feel worried, judged, again, then don't do it. Some things are within your control, but yes, it's going to be hard for you to control because you only know what you know. So for example, I shaved my head and then there are some people saying, oh, I think the hairstyle doesn't suit you because probably you don't have a rounded head, probably don't have this, don't have that. Now that feedback, again, it's how you judge it, how you interpret it, and whether you accept it, right? I always say feedback is so important for you to be a better person. But to me, some feedback doesn't bother me, like how people judge how I look, how people judge how I act, I always wanted to think I'm kind, generous, and I really want to help. That's the truth. But if they want to judge through another perspective that you're trying to help them for another reason, for a transaction, then so be it. That's fine, right? You don't need to please everybody. I mean, this statement has been passed on for so long, for so much, right? You don't have to please everybody. But ultimately, the spotlight effect hurts you because it hurts how you feel inside here, your heart. What messes with your mind, what matters most is how it feels in your heart. Right? Because if you can fulfill this part of your body, this part, most of the time, will take care of itself. The same thing as I mentioned just now, which is the guy who goes on stage, who's stammering, who's very insecure, who's very nervous, but goes on stage to talk because he hopes and dreams that everybody like him, who's a real introvert, can do that like him. And for that, that goal itself makes him want to go up there and do this. Much like me, right? I am an introvert, but I want to do this because I want to have a legacy of my kids being able to see videos of me one day doing all kinds of crazy things to help other people. And I also want people to be like me in a way where in the past, I would never do this, but in the current, I know that I want to help people who were like me, who are like me, and who can become somewhat like me to step up and share and help and teach. So with that, I hope the content has helped you today. I hope you can share this with people and understand and maybe learn a little bit more about the spotlight effect, how it affects you, how it affects other people, and how it determines and defines what people used to say and are always telling you, oh, judge it from another person's perspective or judge it from how they see it, empathy, empathize with someone else. If you can't understand it, just read up a little bit more and I'll attach more information on this in some links below.